Whoop! Here it is. Here's the Carillion, guys. Good morning. It's about 6 at the moment. I started running at 5:45 because I had the idea for a video. And the video is, well, it's basically the 3 signs that you're on the right path to success. And you might be surprised, but this time these 3 signs are actually not good things, but negativity and bad things that show you're on the way. What do we mean by that? Well, stick around and I'll explain. Look at this towering Carillion. We've got there early enough that they're still projecting like a red light on it. Oh, did you see that? Just then the red light turned off. And we take the Carillion. There we go. Now that was a success. So, the first sign that you're on the way to success is that people are criticizing your ambitions. Alright? So, often it's not actually our own self-doubt that stops us from wanting to, well, it is at the end of the day, it is our self-doubt that stops us wanting to achieve our dreams. But it often comes from the voices of others. So that when you announce to everyone that you're going to do this, and you're really excited to start following your dreams and your passion, and sometimes people will say things like, oh, and where's that going to take you? Obviously, cynically, not believing that you can make it. But it's by believing these voices of others that you don't make it, right? Because then you create your own self-doubt. But the reason why people are so critical at this stage is because you remind them that they never went and chased after their dreams. I'll say that again. The reason people are most critical at your ambitious stage is because you remind them that they never followed their dreams, right? And they don't actually think you will fail, right? They're actually worried that you'll succeed and prove them wrong. Right? That's people's biggest fears. That's the biggest reason people criticize. It's not because they're in a place of superiority, but it's because they're in a place of insecurity. Because you're rubbing into them that you're actually going after something that they never did. So that's the first sign of negativity that you're on the path to success. Alright, a lot of people get to the first stage, right? They announce they're going to chase after their dreams, they're going to change the world, you know, they're going to finally be true to themselves and do what they've always wanted. And you know, there's a fair chunk of people who do this, but many fall away at the second stage. Because the second stage is the hardest, right? So where many people start but never finish. And the second stage is this. You've been working on something for a long time, right? Months, maybe years. Let's say you've given your ambition a real good go, right? You spent months, you invested lots of time in it, money and effort, and you're determined to prove people that they were wrong about their doubts. But this is the hardest time because people are starting to see that you're not a success yet. You're in between. You're not quite at success, but you're also not at giving up yet. And this is the loneliest stage, because where you want to be with your mentors and predecessors and inspirations, you're not there yet, and you're quite far from them. But you're also quite far from giving up. And this is the stage where people around you start to say, "I told you so. See, you haven't made it." And they could get quite aggressive with this and encourage you to quit while you're behind, or quit while you haven't made it. And they say this because this is at the point where they're most afraid, not you, but the critiques are most afraid that you're actually about to make it, right? Because right now, you are proving to people that you have gone farther than they ever dared. Further than they ever dared, because a lot of people give up in this stage. So you remind them of the time that they actually did start to chase their dreams, but then gave up and had regrets forever about it. And what everyone likes to be right, don't they? They like to be right and say, all along I was right. You should never have chased your dreams. See? And that gives them a false sense of security. And again, same as stage one. it's not because they think you're going to fail. It's actually because now they're even more afraid that you're going to succeed. But this is the hardest for you as well. And the reason it's the hardest is because you don't have the results yet to have that confidence that what you're doing is the right thing. But let me tell you something. It's at this lowest point where you've tried so hard, where things just seem impossible to get better, and the temptation to quit is the greatest. I repeat, the temptation now is to quit is the greatest because everyone is starting to prove that they were right. It is starting to prove that they were right about you failing. So don't quit at this point. Stick around for stage 3 because it's at this lowest point that you're about to have a breakthrough. And stage 3 is that you do start to see results. Now this is the breakthrough, right? You've persevered. You've persevered after everyone said you couldn't make it. But now you actually have the results to prove it. And this is the euphoric stage. Because what you've been, well, especially leading up to that is the most euphoric stage, but then achieving it is another thing. Because what you've then done is you've proven that you could follow your dreams and chase your dreams. And you finally have success. And it's such a wonderful feeling. Because right now, you have the proof, alright? I'm not just talking about you say you have an ambition, but you have the proof now that you're successful because you've got the results. And it's undeniable, right? No one can prove you wrong against your proof. Their criticisms weren't evidence-based, right? But when they're face to face with a proof of who you are and what you've achieved, they can't fight against that, right? And you know, they're still going to be negative. Because not only have you reminded them that they never started, not only have you reminded them that they never gave, not only have you reminded that they never started, not only have you reminded them that they gave up, but you've reminded them that because they did these 2 things, they never succeeded and never achieved their dreams. But you did, because you're different. You're special. You're special if you make it, right? Now this is like, I don't want to just say everyone's special, right? That's a cliche. Your parents say that. My parents said that, but you know, because we're all humans, right? But if you do want to be special, you've got to push through the negativity and see the positivity on the other side. And here's the thing, even after you become successful, those same people who are trying to tear you down on the way up, they're just going to get more and more bitter. And they'll try and say even more things to scathing things to scare you or to make you feel insecure about yourself. They'll say things like, you just got lucky. And it's like, oh, weren't you lucky that all the situations were right for you? They'll say, you're lucky that it all worked out for you, right? And they'll say, you know, I would have been here, but, and then they'll make an excuse. Like, I never had the time, or, you know, back in my days, things were different. And it's so funny to see people make these excuses. Because you know that between you and them, your circumstances are exactly the same, but you chose a different path, right? People like, think about all the difficult things you overcame to reach the success. And they're mocking you about it, right? Because they well, what do I say, guys? It's just the funniest thing, right? It's because they say success is the best revenge, or success is the only true revenge. And it's because you're not being successful so you can rub it into them. You're being successful for you and for your dreams. And so you don't even need to rub it in because you don't care about those negative voices anymore, because you can do so much more than people say you can. And the reason they're negative is because they actually believe you can. And they're more worried about you succeeding because it reminds them that they never could. Well, actually they could, but they never tried and never did. because all of us can. Truth is, you may be one of those people who have been negative about others, and I hope this video has changed your mind about that, and has actually made you go, wait, I can be successful, you know. I can make a ton of money in my business. Just have to learn and push through the high barriers and ignore the negativity. You guys, especially the people watching this channel, I know you are capable of so much. So take this to heart, and until next time guys, stay safe and stay sane.